I stand at the foot of Black Crag Mountain, the wind biting at my skin, and a sense of dread sinking into my bones. Grayson stands beside me, his face grim and weathered by years of hardship. His eyes flicker with something deeper than fear-guilt, perhaps. The cursed mountain looms above, its jagged peaks hidden beneath the thick veil of fog. We both know the horrors that await us, yet neither of us can turn back. The air is unnaturally still, like the world holds its breath. I glance at Grayson, who is clutching the old map in his hand. His fingers tremble. I try to ignore the knot in my stomach, but it's hard when I can feel the mountain's presence pressing down on us. I check my notes, records of past expeditions, of disappearances, of madness. Grayson doesn't speak, but I sense his unspoken thoughts. He's running just like I am. The first howl comes unexpectedly, shattering the silence. A bone-chilling scream echoes from somewhere deep within the mountain, so far away, yet close enough to make my heart race. Grayson's jaw tightens, but he doesn't flinch. "We have to keep going," he mutters, more to himself than to me. His voice holds the weight of something unspeakable. He wants redemption, though I'm not sure if it's for the things he's lost or the things he's done. We begin our ascent, the ground beneath our boots crunching with each step. The fog clings to us, wrapping around our legs like an unseen force. The mountain is alive in a way I can't explain, and with every step, it feels as though it's pulling us deeper into its grasp. I feel an unsettling cold seep into my bones, a cold that goes beyond the temperature. It's the kind of chill that lingers long after you've stepped away. As we climb higher, I notice Grayson growing more distant. His gaze flickers around the mountain, his eyes scanning the shadows like a man hunted by invisible ghosts. "You okay?" I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. He doesn't answer, just grunts and pushes forward. The air grows thinner, and the mountain presses in around us like a tightening vice. With every step, it feels like we're walking deeper into a nightmare that doesn't end. It's then that I see it. In the corner of my eye, a flicker of movement, a shadow too quick to identify. And when I turn, it's gone. I feel a prickle of unease crawl down my spine. "Did you see that?" I ask Grayson. He doesn't respond. I want to ask again, but something in his face tells me he's already lost in his own mind. I don't press him further, but the feeling of being watched only grows stronger. The mountain seems to be playing with us. The trees now bend in unnatural angles, twisted and deformed by some unseen force. The path winds upward, but with every turn, it feels like we're going in circles. I try to stay focused, trying to match the terrain to the map, but something's wrong. My thoughts grow hazy, and I find myself forgetting things. Simple things. Why I'm here. What I was doing. Grayson is muttering to himself now. Words I can't quite catch. He's talking to someone not here. I want to ask, but I don't dare. His face is pale, his expression haunted. I look away, trying to steady my breath. But the mountain's grip tightens. The air around us seems to warp, bending and shifting like a living thing. The shadows grow longer, stretching toward us, and I can hear the faint whispers, soft, indistinct, but growing louder. We press on, our steps slow but determined. The fog thickens, swallowing us whole, and the mountain seems to close in, as if it's trying to bury us alive. It's hard to keep track of time now. How long have we been walking? Hours? Days? I no longer know. The world feels warped, like a dream that's just out of reach. Grayson stumbles, his foot catching on an unseen rock, but he recovers quickly, his eyes darting around as though expecting something to emerge from the darkness. I try to focus, to remember why we came. I've been studying the history of this place for years, searching for answers to the mysteries that have haunted my family. My parents gone vanished without a trace. They were last seen heading toward Black Crag years ago. I thought I could find the truth here, but now I'm not so sure. The answers may not be what I want them to be. The mountain is speaking to us, but it's not with words, it's with memories. Suddenly, the air grows colder. Grayson shudders beside me, and I feel it too. The temperature dropping unnaturally fast. My breath comes in visible clouds, even though it's late autumn. The fog thickens, and I can barely see Grayson's form in front of me. "Grayson, wait!" I say, but my voice is swallowed by the fog. My heart races as I realize we've been separated. Panic rises, but I fight it down. I call his name again, but there's no answer. I push through the fog, my hands trembling as I search for him. The ground beneath me seems to shift, and suddenly, I feel the rush of the wind against my face. When I turn, I find myself standing at the edge of a cliff, staring out into an abyss. My heart stops. Grayson is gone, vanished. He was just there a moment ago. I call out again, desperation in my voice, but there's only silence. The mountain is laughing at me. I don't know how long I stand there, alone on the cliff's edge, but eventually the fog begins to clear. When it does, I find myself not at the base of the mountain, but near its peak. How? I don't know. It's as if the very nature of the mountain bends time and space, shifting us without our consent. Grayson's voice calls to me from somewhere above. His tone is strained, distant. I can't leave him behind. I must keep going. The summit comes into view, but the closer I get, the more I feel the weight of dread pressing on me. The wind howls louder, like a scream of torment. And then I see it. An altar, ancient and covered in moss, standing alone at the peak. The stone is cracked, worn by time, but there's something unsettling about it. Something wrong. Grayson stands before it, his back to me. His posture is stiff, unnatural. "Grayson," I shout, but he doesn't turn. The truth hits me like a wave. The mountain, this cursed place, was never about a god or a treasure. No, it's something much darker. The altar is not a monument, but a ritual. One that feeds on the sins of those who seek it. The whispers grow louder in my ears, and I realize the horror that has plagued us all this time. It's not just the mountain. It's us. Our own guilt, our own regrets. The mountain feeds on them. Grayson's face is ashen when he turns to me. His eyes are empty, devoid of any recognition. He opens his mouth to speak, but only a whisper escapes. "They're here. They never left," he murmurs. My breath catches in my throat. I step closer, but the words echo in my mind, and I realize the truth. Grayson isn't speaking to me. He's speaking to them, his fallen comrades, their souls entwined with his own. They're trapped inside him. I can't breathe. I can't think. My parents, they came here too, didn't they? They came searching for answers, and they never returned. I try to speak, but my voice falters. I don't want to know the truth. Not this truth. But it's too late. I can see their faces now, twisted and deformed, fading in and out of my vision. They were never truly gone. They were here, in the mountain all along. The altar pulses with energy, and I realize too late that the mountain is feeding on us. The guilt, the regret, it's all part of the ritual. We are the sacrifice. I try to reach for Grayson, but he steps back, his eyes wide with realization. The mountain calls to him, and he can't resist. He reaches for the altar, his hand trembling as he touches the stone. It's over. The cycle is complete. I scream, but no sound escapes my lips. Grayson's body stiffens, and with a final desperate glance at me, he vanishes. The mountain has claimed him. I collapse to my knees, my heart shattered. The whispers are deafening now, their words filling my mind, drowning me. And then, the ground beneath me shifts, and I realize this is it. I am the keeper now. The mountain's power is mine to bear, and I can never leave. The fog swirls around me, thick and oppressive, as I stand alone atop Black Crag. The whispers have quieted, but I can still hear them in my head. The mountain doesn't just feed on the lost, it feeds on hope. And now I am one with it, forever bound to its curse, to its endless hunger. I close my eyes, but even in darkness I know I will never be free. The weight of the mountain's curse presses down on me like a suffocating hand. I'm no longer sure where I end and the mountain begins. The fog swirls in intricate patterns, wrapping itself around me like a living thing, coiling tighter with each passing moment. The whispers, once distant, now feel like a part of my very thoughts. They invade my mind, clawing at the edges of my sanity, dragging me deeper into the mountain's insatiable hunger. My heart still aches for Grayson, for his tragic fate. I see his face in flashes, his eyes wide with terror, his body consumed by the mountain's hunger. But it's more than just the loss of a companion. It's the knowledge that we are all bound to this place in ways we never could have understood. Grayson, a million names that once held meaning, now twisted into another sacrifice for the mountain's power. And now I am no different. I try to call out, but no words form. The air is thick with an oppressive silence, as if the very atmosphere is holding its breath. I look down at my hands, but they no longer feel like my own. My fingers are pale, the skin cracked and dry, as though I've been here far too long. How much time has passed since the altar claimed Grayson? How long have I wandered the endless expanse of this cursed peak? The sun never rises, and the darkness never fades. The stone beneath my feet shifts, groaning as though the mountain itself is restless. I stumble, my legs weak from exhaustion. I didn't realize I'd felt until now. The fog parts just enough for me to glimpse the remnants of what once might have been a path. The memories of my parents flash through my mind, the way they used to laugh, the way they used to hold me close when the world seemed too large. But all of that is gone, and now so am I. I wander aimlessly, though I don't know what I'm searching for anymore. The whispers pull at my mind, urging me to look deeper, to seek the truth hidden in the heart of Black Crag. But the truth is unbearable. Every step feels like it takes me further from myself. I try to remember who I was before the mountain swallowed me whole. But the memories are fading, slipping through my fingers like water. The fog thickens again, blurring everything around me until I can see nothing but the dark, swirling mist. I reach out for something, anything to ground myself, but the air is empty, hollow, like a void. The whispers rise, louder now, more insistent, as though the mountain knows I am slipping, and it wants me to stay. It wants to devour me whole, to make me a part of its endless hunger, and I feel it pulling at me, drawing me closer to the edge of madness. The sky darkens even further, and the air grows thick with a stench I can't quite place. Rotting earth, decaying leaves, the very essence of death. My stomach turns, and I feel the nausea rise in my throat. But there's nowhere to go. The mountain has trapped me, and perhaps that was its plan all along, to draw me in, to make me a keeper of its curse. The question is, what happens to the keeper when the mountain is finished with them? Suddenly, I hear a sound faint at first, but unmistakable. Footsteps, soft, slow, as though someone is walking behind me. I spin around, my heart leaping in my chest, but there's nothing there. The fog is still, impenetrable, and yet I know someone is following me. I can't see them, but I feel their presence, like a shadow clinging to my every step. My pulse races as the footsteps grow louder, closer. My breath comes in ragged gasps, my chest tight with fear I can no longer suppress. I call out into the fog, desperate to hear a response, but the only answer is the haunting echo of my own voice. Then the whispers change. They grow louder, more frantic, until they merge into a single unified voice. A voice I recognize. It's Grayson. His words are distorted, twisted by the mountain's power, but I can still hear the pain in them. "You can't escape," Grayson's voice whispers, though it sounds nothing like him. It's deeper, darker, as though it has become a part of the mountain itself. We're all here now. We're all trapped. Just like them. Just like me. The words hit me like a blow, and I stagger back, my legs weak beneath me. The mountain is feeding on us, using our guilt, our fear, to fuel its endless hunger. And now it's claiming Grayson's voice, his very essence, as its own. I try to scream, but no sound escapes. The fog closes in again, and the whispers grow louder until they fill every corner of my mind. I can hear the voices of the others, voices of those who have come before me. Lost souls who have wandered the mountain, consumed by their own regrets. They call to me, urging me to join them, to surrender to the mountain's power. But I can't give in. Not yet. I push forward, my steps shaky and unsure, as though the ground beneath me is shifting with each movement. The whispers follow, their voices growing more insistent, more pleading. I want to stop, to listen, to understand, but I can't. The truth is too much to bear. The mountain is alive, and it's not just feeding on our fear. It's feeding on our very souls, devouring them one by one until nothing is left. The fog begins to lift, and for the first time, I see the true scale of the mountain. It stretches endlessly in every direction, an insurmountable expanse of jagged stone and shadow. There's no way out. There's no escape. The thought gnaws at me, a bitter taste in my mouth. I am trapped. We are all trapped, bound to this cursed place for eternity, slaves to the mountain's insatiable hunger. As the fog clears, I glimpse something in the distance. An ancient stone structure, weathered and worn by time. It seems to call to me, pulling me toward it. I hesitate and unsure whether I should approach, but something compels me to move. With each step, the whispers grow quieter, as if the mountain itself is watching, waiting for me to make my decision. I reach the structure, and my heart skips a beat. It's the altar, the same altar that Grayson touched, the one that claimed him. It pulses with energy, the stone shimmering in the dim light. I can feel its power, its hunger, thrumming beneath my feet. This is it. This is the source of the curse, the heart of Black Crag, the place where all the lost souls converge, where the mountain feeds on our regrets. My mind races as I stare at the altar, the weight of the truth settling over me like a stone. I understand now, this place was never meant for redemption. It was meant to trap us, to keep us locked in this endless cycle of guilt and despair. The whispers are not just voices. They are the remnants of those who have come before. their souls consumed by the mountain. And soon I will join them. I reach out, my hand trembling as I touch the altar's surface. A jolt of energy surges through me, and for a moment, I see everything, every face, every soul that has been lost to this place. The mountain's power flows into me, its hunger devouring what little is left of me. I scream, but the sound is lost in the wind. There is no escape now. The mountain has claimed me. The world around me begins to blur, the edges of reality warping as the mountain's grip tightens. I try to fight it, to break free, but I am powerless. I can feel myself slipping away, fading into the darkness that surrounds me. Grayson's face flashes before me, his eyes wide with terror. He was the first, but he won't be the last. I will join him, become a part of the mountain's endless hunger. And then the whispers stop. The world falls silent. The fog lifts, and I am standing at the edge of the abyss, looking down at the depths below. I know what's coming. I know that I will fall. And when I do, I will be lost, consumed by the mountain's curse. But it doesn't matter. There is no escaping this place, no escaping the hunger that lives within it. I am the keeper now. The moment I step forward, my body feels weightless, as though the very ground beneath me has disappeared. The darkness is no longer just the absence of light. It's alive, swirling around me, crawling into my lungs with each breath I take. My thoughts grow distant, becoming fragments, pieces of a puzzle I can no longer complete. Grayson's face flashes once more in my mind, a fleeting image filled with terror and resignation. He had feared this just as I do now. I understand his fear, his acceptance. This place doesn't kill you, it makes you a part of it.